Hello to everyone, my name is Sebastián Narváez, and today I want to talk to you about the differences and similarities between English and Spanish limiting adjectives. First of all, I would like to start this presentation with an introduction, a little introduction about what I consider about the limiting adjectives. I believe, and I firmly believe, that this is a great tool that we can use to communicate effectively if we want to communicate effectively in English. So these parts, the adjectives, not only the limiting adjectives, but the adjectives is a really important thing. I can say that limiting adjectives serve a crucial role in clarifying or specifying the noun they modify. We have to be clear about this. Adjectives we use to clarify and specify the noun, so we need to be clear about this. So that's why we need to learn how to use these limiting adjectives. They add precision and context to our language, helping to convey exactly what we mean. Without them, communication could be vague or ambiguous. However, it's essential to use them judiciously, as overuse can clutter language and detract from clarity. Overall, limiting adjectives are valuable tools for effective communication when used thoughtfully. This is what I consider. Of course, we need to learn how to use properly these limiting adjectives. Now, let's explore the differences and similarities between English and Spanish limiting adjectives, focusing on demonstrative, possessive, interrogative, indefinite, and ordinal numbers. First, we're going to start with the demonstrative adjectives. In English, demonstrative adjectives indicate specific nouns in relation to their proximity or distance from the speaker. They include these, that, these, and those. In Spanish, similar to English, Spanish demonstrative adjectives also indicate the proximity or distance of nouns from the speaker. They include este, ese, aquel, and their respective plural forms. We continue with the form. The form in English and in Spanish. In English, the demonstrative adjectives do not change based on gender or number. They remain the same regardless of the noun they modify. In Spanish, the demonstrative adjectives agree in gender and number with the nouns they modify. For example, este libro, this book, changes to esta mesa, this table, for feminine nouns, and estos libros, these books, for plural form. The function and the uses. In English and in Spanish, demonstrative adjectives are used to point out or identify specific nouns in terms of their proximity or distance from the speaker. They help provide context and clarify which noun is being referred to. Now we continue with the next one, the possessive adjectives. In English, possessive adjectives indicate ownership or possession of nouns. They include my, your, his, her, its, our, and their. In Spanish, possessive adjectives indicate ownership or possessions as well. They include mi, tu, su, nuestro, and their respective singular and plural forms. The form. In English, possessive adjectives do not change based on gender or number. They are consistent regardless of the noun they modify. In Spanish, similar to demonstrative adjectives, Spanish possessive adjectives agree in gender and number with the nouns they modify. For example, mi casa, my house, changes to mis casas, my houses, for plural nouns. The function and the uses. In English and in Spanish, the possessive adjectives indicate ownership or possession of nouns, clarifying who the owner is. They are placed before the noun they modify. We need to be clear about this. We always have to be clear when we use the adjectives. We need to consider we have to place them before or after the noun, so we can convey a clear message when we speak or when we write. Interrogative indefinite adjectives. In English, interrogative indefinite adjectives are used to ask questions about unspecified nouns. They include which, what, and whose. In Spanish, interrogative indefinite adjectives serve the same purpose and include cuál, qué, and cuánto. The form. In English, the form of the interrogative indefinite adjectives remains the same regardless of the noun they modify. In Spanish, interrogative indefinite adjectives change in gender and number to agree with nouns they modify. For example, cuál libro, which book, becomes cuáles libros, which books, for plural nouns. The function and the uses. In English and Spanish, interrogative indefinite adjectives are used to inquire about unspecified nouns, seeking clarification or additional information. Now let's continue with the last one that we are going to talk about, the ordinal numbers. In English, ordinal numbers indicate the order or sequence of nouns in a series. They include first, second, third, etc. In Spanish, the ordinal numbers serve the same purpose and include primero, segundo, tercero. As well, we can use primera, segunda, tercera. The difference between English and Spanish, you can see, is the gender. In many words, in this case, the adjectives. The form. In English, ordinal numbers are formed by adding st and d, rd, or th to the cardinal number. In Spanish, ordinal numbers are formed by adding o for masculine nouns and a for feminine nouns to the cardinal number. For example, primero, first, and primera, first, and feminine. We can see we have this in Spanish, but in English we don't have to add, they don't have to be masculine or feminine. That's one of the differences as well. The function and the uses. Both English and Spanish ordinal numbers are used to indicate the order or sequence of nouns in a series, such as a ranking or listing items. The summary. I hope you enjoyed this video. I briefly tried to explain a little bit about these limiting adjectives. Of course, you need to understand that you have to practice and you have to understand how important is the proper use of the adjectives. To finish with this video, I will give you the summary. In summary, while English and Spanish limiting adjectives share similarities in their function and uses, such as indicating ownership or asking questions, specifying order, they differ in their form, particularly regarding agreement in gender and number in Spanish. Understanding this difference and similarities can aid language learners in mastering the usage of limiting adjectives in both languages. So now this is everything. Thank you very much for your attention. Hope to see you next time in the next video. Bye bye with everyone. See you later.